We have breaking news after this time. There's a shocking new revelation into the history of an Idaho mass shooter who set a wildfire to lure firefighters and law enforcement into a death trap. Welcome back to Occupy Democrats. I'm David Reddish. In case you missed it yesterday, Idaho was consumed by an investigation following the aforementioned mass shooting. 2 firefighters are dead, while another remains hospitalized. Here's an overview.
We are following developments out of northern Idaho, where officials say a man deliberately set a wildfire to ambush first responders. Now, 2 firefighters were killed. Another was injured. This happened in the city of Coeur d'Alene. A suspect was later found dead. More than 300 law enforcement officers from the city, county, state, and even federal levels responded to the scene of the shooting.
They are reporting a brush fire going northeast.
Some law enforcement right now, there's an active shooter zone. Everybody shot up here. Law enforcement, code 3 now up here. Another Coeur d'Alene firefighter down, needs help immediately. We need law enforcement immediately.
Okay, let's get to CBS News reporter Andres Gutierrez. Andres, what can you tell us about the latest developments on this?
Well, Mugu, since we last spoke about half an hour ago, we now have a name of the suspect, of the shooter in this case. According to the Associated Press, citing law enforcement officials, the shooter in this case is Wes Rowley. According to authorities, yesterday, this individual came to Canfield Mountain to set this fire to lure in the first responders. The firefighters, just before 1:30, showed up here to Canfield Mountain. You could see heavily wooded, steep slopes out here. The fire continues to burn as of this morning. Just as they were on scene assessing the situation, trying to figure out how to put out this brush fire, they began taking on fire. This suspect, Rowley, ended up taking a sniper's position somewhere in this wooded area and began firing upon them about 20 minutes after they had shown up there on scene. It took them about a few hours later, around 3:26, they ended up using some cell phone data and found that there was a cell phone that had not been moved. They ended up exchanging some type of gunfire, according to authorities, with the suspect. They don't know if that gunfire ended up taking this guy's life or if he ended up taking his own life before they found the body around 7:20, because they ended up looking for that cell phone information. That cell phone had not moved from that location near where the shooting took place, and they sent a chopper up above and spotted the guy there with a rifle right next to him. Because the fire was moving in, they had to recover his body, of course, to do an autopsy on it, also to see if there's any electronics on him, to try and piece together a timeline as to why this all happened in the first place. So they hoisted his body up, took the rifle up, and he's obviously now at the morgue. They'd have a name. At this point, we've learned that it was a Coeur d'Alene firefighter as well as a Kootenai fire and rescue firefighter who lost their lives out here. A third firefighter with Coeur d'Alene was taken to the hospital, underwent surgery, is in stable condition, but he might still be fighting for his life as we speak.
Our thoughts and prayers go out to those firefighters, their families, and the people of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. As the community mourns, questions continue to arise as to Wes Rowley's motives in this attack. And now, it looks like we have one. As that report mentioned, the suspect, who was found dead, has been identified as Wes Rowley, and his family has some all too predictable associations. Multiple outlets now report that while Rowley's motives remain in question, his parents have been outed as big-time Trump supporters. Multiple photographs of Wes and his parents have gone viral on social media, once again linking Donald Trump and MAGA world with another violent attack. The photos include this one from 2017 of young Wes and his mother sporting an assault rifle. Nothing like turning your kids on to mass-killing machines at a young age, right? Other photos of his mother and stepfather have also begun to circulate, including this showing the couple on a visit to Washington, D.C. and sporting MAGA hats. That also includes this photo of his stepdad sitting at the Resolute desk. Now, of course, this investigation is ongoing and will likely have more twists and turns to come. At the time of this report, Rowley's family has yet to comment on the attack or the death of their relative. What we do know, for now, is that this is the latest in a string of mass shootings wherein suspects have strong connections to Donald Trump. We saw that earlier this month with the shooting in Minnesota where Vance Bolter, a Trump supporter, allegedly targeted Democratic lawmakers and killed two to coincide with the nationwide No Kings protests. We saw that in May when Phoenix Eichner shot 6 people on the campus of Florida State University. It didn't take long for his white supremacist, far-right, and homophobic beliefs to become public, as well as his support for Donald Trump. And we saw that with Thomas Matthew Crooks, the 20-year-old former Trump supporter that attempted to assassinate Trump in 2024. And it goes on like this. We are halfway through 2025, and there have already been more than 170 mass shootings in this country alone. There is a mental health crisis in the United States, but it's time to address why Donald Trump and the MAGA agenda seem to inspire so many people to violence. If you watch our channel on a regular basis, you know that I have long contended that the real Trump derangement syndrome is the one that afflicts Trump supporters, that inspires and encourages them to commit violent acts. And before you say these are just a few bad apples and that liberals also must inspire shooters and that Trump has nothing to do with it, consider January 6th. Consider the brutality of the ICE agents. The MAGA agenda and, let's be real, the cult of Donald Trump is a disease. It is a mental illness that makes Americans forget real American values in the name of racism, hate, cruelty, and violence. This is a violent disease. Not that I expect Trump to even denounce the attack at this point. Not that he has any intention of telling his supporters that they should never resort to violence. No, it would take too decent and responsible a man to do that, wouldn't it? It would take too rational a man to denounce killing. That's where we are, America. Donald Trump does not care if people die so long as it's not him. So if you haven't called your representatives to denounce the budget bill, now is the time. Tell them to oppose the bill and tell them to call out the link between MAGA world and violence. This has to stop. I'm David Reddish.